Hi, welcome to this new session dealing with the symmetry principle and orientation principle. This is a continuation from the last class about symmetry. In this session, I would like to explain about the symmetry principle, its proof, included in its proof, orientation, definition and its meaning, orientation principle, its proof. Moving on to symmetry principle. The statement is this one. If a Mobius transformation T takes a circle gamma 1 onto the circle gamma 2, then any pair of points symmetric with respect to gamma 1 are mapped by T onto a pair of points symmetric with respect to gamma 2. That means, suppose that gamma 1 is a curve in this gamma 1 and this is gamma 2, and these are mapped by using a Mobius transformation T. Corresponding to this, Z star are symmetric with respect to gamma 1 means Z star, Z1, Z2, Z3 is equal to, the cross ratio is same as Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 conjugate. Okay. Then the symmetry principle says that this Mobius transformation preserves this symmetry. That means suppose Z, the corresponding image is Tz and the corresponding image will be Tz star. Then if Z and Z star are the symmetric points, a pair of points symmetric with respect to gamma 1, then this principle says that this Mobius transformation preserves this property of symmetry. That means this Tz and Tz star will be a pair of points symmetric with respect to gamma 2. Gamma 2 is an image of gamma 1 under the transformation T. This is we have to prove. So, let Z2, Z3, Z4 belongs to gamma 1 and assume that Z and Z star are, symmetric with respect to with respect to gamma 1, which means Z star Z1, that is Z2, Z3, Z4 is equal to Z, Z2, Z3, Z4 conjugate. This is equation number 1. Next I have to take this as, consider this Tz star, Tz2, Tz3, Tz4, which is equal to what? Which is equal to, we know that this is equal to Z star, Z2, Z3, Z4. By using a theorem, we have a proposition 3.8 that this is same. And we know this is equal to Z, Z2, Z3, Z4 conjugate by using 1. This is because of proposition 3.8. And we can say that this is equal to what? Tz, Tz2, Tz3, Tz4 conjugate. What is the meaning of this one? Tz star, the cross ratio, Tz star, Tz2, Tz3, Tz4 is equal to the cross ratio Tz, Tz2, Tz3, Tz4 conjugate. which means, this means what? T set star are symmetric with respect to gamma 2. So the theorem is proved. Okay. Next is distinguish between the inside and outside of a circle in the extended complex plane, say infinity. The answer is we can distinguish between the inside and outside of a circle by using this new definition, that is the orientation. And how we can define this orientation? If gamma is a circle, then an orientation for gamma is an ordered triple of points, Z1, Z2, Z3, such that each Zj belongs to gamma. That means if you have a circle, and suppose Z1, Z2, Z3 are the 3 points on the circle, and this order Z1, Z2, Z3 tells that you go from Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3, and come back to Z1. So that specifies a particular order that tells that they are distinct. This means they are distinct. The Z1, Z2, Z3 are distinct. Move from Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3, again come back to Z1. And this specifies an orientation on that circle. Okay, and when you imagine walking on that circle in the extended complex plane with your head up, so when you imagine walking on that circle in the extended complex plane with your head up, then you have a region to left and region to right side. Suppose only 2 points are given. 2 points are given in a circle. This is Z1 and this is Z2. Then can you define an orientation, right or left, in this region? Then from Z1 to Z2 means this direction, or I can move this direction. I don't know in which direction I have to travel. When 3 points are given, then we can say that Z1 to Z2, Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3, Z3 to Z1, that is a movement. Okay, suppose this is a circle, this is Z1, this is Z2 and this is Z3. So the movement is Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3, Z3 to Z1. This is a movement. But when 2 points are given, we cannot say that through which path we have to travel. We can determine. Okay. When 3 points are given, typically we can define a direction of path. Okay, that is a orientation. Here the case 1, gamma is equal to the real line. Z1, Z2, Z3 belongs to R. Tz is equal to Z, Z1, Z2, Z3, which is equal to Az plus B divided by Cz plus D, where AD minus BC not equal to 0. We have chosen this Z1, Z2, Z3 from R. Okay, Z belongs to R. Then we have a result is that T of R infinity is equal to R infinity. R infinity maps onto R infinity itself. So we can say that this ABCD we have chosen here. In this we have chosen here is real number. Okay. Then consider Tz. Tz is equal to Az plus B divided by Cz plus D. We can say that this is Az plus B divided by Cz plus D into Cz bar plus, that is the conjugate, that is Cz plus D conjugate. Okay, which implies that Az plus B into Cz conjugate plus D, because C and D are real numbers. So C conjugate is C itself divided by mod Cz plus D whole square. And this is equal to, by expanding this, AC into mod Z square plus BD plus BC into Z conjugate plus ADZ divided by what? Mod Cz plus D whole square. And from this we need imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3, which is equal to what? What is the imaginary part of here? AC mod Z square plus BD plus BC Z conjugate plus AD is Z divided by mod Cz plus D whole square, which is equal to, that is the imaginary part of, but this is real part, Imaginary part means here it is minus BC is here it is AD, so this is AD minus BC into, that is a imaginary part of, this Z is here, this is actually, these are real part, so imaginary part is equal to, based on this is AD into Z means X plus IY, that is a plus BC into X minus IY, that Y is actually, which is equal to, that is the imaginary part of AD X plus BCX plus I into AD minus BC into Y. So this is equal to imaginary part of, this is equal to imaginary part of, this means that is AD minus BC, here it is mod Cz plus D whole square is also here. So this is equal to AD minus BC divided by mod Cz plus D whole square into Y is the imaginary part. And this is implies AD minus BC divided by mod Cz plus D whole square into imaginary part of Z. This is a resultant. Okay. Next we have to consider that is here, that is the imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 is equal to AD minus BC divided by mod Cz plus D whole square into imaginary part of Z. So from this we can see that imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 is equal to AD minus BC divided by mod Cz plus D whole square into imaginary part of Z. From this result we can see that set of all Z such that imaginary Z is less than 0. That is the lower half plane actually. This is a lower half plane that are mapped to Earth. This is a lower half plane. Then set of all Z such that consider this one AD minus BC by mod CZ plus D whole square into imaginary part. This part is less than 0 if AD minus BC is greater than 0. And this is greater than 0 if AD minus BC is less than 0. That means this is Z such that that is the imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 which is less than 0 if AD minus BC greater than 0. Set of all Z such that imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 greater than 0 if AD minus BC is less than 0. So this lies in the lower half plane, this lies in upper half plane, depends on this AD minus BC greater than 0 or less than 0. Case 2, that is gamma when gamma is arbitrary. And suppose Z1, Z2, Z3 are on gamma. Let S be any Mobius transformation. And consider set of all Z such that imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 is greater than 0. What happened? What is the meaning of this one? That is we are going to check. So this is equal to set of all Z such that this is imaginary part of SZ, SZ1, SZ2, SZ3 is greater than 0. This is because of the proposition 3.8. We know that this is equal to the cross ratio Z1, Z1, cross ratio Z1, Z2, Z3 is equal to the cross ratio SZ, SZ1, SZ2, SZ3. Okay. So using this we can define this one, and after replacing Z with a S inverse Z, and we can see that this is equal to S inverse Z such that imaginary part of S inverse of SZ. This is a particular fixed point SZ1, SZ2, SZ3. Okay, which is greater than 0. No change will be there, since it is that is invariant under any linear transformation. So we can apply any linear transformation. Here S inverse is again a Mobius transformation, so we can apply that through that, but it is invariant actually. The cross ratio is invariant. So this is S inverse Z such that imaginary part of Z, SZ1, SZ2, SZ3 is greater than 0. That means that is the S inverse of set of all Z such that imaginary part of this is greater than 0. That is, it means this greater than 0. This S inverse is greater than 0 means there is set of all Z such that imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 is greater than 0, where S is from, if S is from gamma to R infinity, then this one, this set of all Z such that imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 is greater than 0 is, which is equal to, that is a S inverse of either upper half plane or lower half plane. Upper half plane or lower half plane according to the point SZ1, SZ2, SZ3. Upper half plane or lower half plane. Next is definition, very important definition related to this orientation. For the orientation Z1, Z2, Z3, an orientation of gamma, then define the right side of gamma with respect to this orientation as set of all Z such that imaginary part of the cross ratio Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 is greater than 0. And left side of gamma with respect to Z1, Z2, Z3 as set of all Z such that imaginary part of Z, Z1, Z2, Z3 is less than 0. If this imaginary part of the cross ratio greater than 0, that goes to right side, and if imaginary part is less than 0, that goes to the left side of gamma. And also we have to notice that there is a note. If we travel along gamma from Z1 to Z2 to Z3, then right side of gamma will lie on our right. Right side of gamma will be right. Okay. Suppose that this is a path, right? So this is Z1, Z2, Z3. This is orientation. So Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3, Z3 to Z1. So if we travel along this gamma from Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3 and come back to Z1, then the right side of gamma is actually here. This is the right side. And left side means this is the left side. These are the left side. And I'm choosing another path. This is Z1, this is Z2, and this is Z3. So the path is actually Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3, Z3 to Z1. So in this, then I'm moving along this gamma from Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3 and Z3 to Z1. The right side means this is the right side. Outside this gamma, right side, and this is the left side of our left side means this is the left side. Okay, this is a orientation in right side and the left side of gamma. Next we have an orientation principle, very important one. That is, let gamma 1 and gamma 2 be two circles in external complex plane and T be Mobius transformation such that T of gamma 1 is equal to gamma 2. Gamma 1 and gamma 2, gamma 1, image of gamma 1 is gamma 2. Let Z1, Z2, Z3 be an orientation for gamma 1. Then T takes the right side. Suppose this is our gamma 1. Okay. And this is Z1, Z2, and this is Z3. And then Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3, Z3 to Z1. So when we are moving along this path, then the right side means this is the right. This is the right side and this is the left side. Okay. So suppose gamma 2 is here. Gamma 2 is, suppose this is some T Z1. This is T Z2. This is T Z3. So this is a map. Okay. Or this will be the another way. T Z1, T Z2, T Z3. So This can be the orientation. Okay. Suppose this is a image, then the right side is here. The right side is, this is a direction in anti-clockwise direction is here. So the right side means this is the that is the outside gamma, and this is left side. Okay. So this theorem says that right side maps to the right side and left side maps to left side. Suppose this is our image, then here it is right. When we are moving along this path, then the right side means here inside gamma 2, and left side means outside gamma. So the right side maps to the right side and left side maps to the left side. That is outside circle, outside gamma 1 maps to outside gamma 2. This can be gamma 2 and this one 2 type. In this 2 type, this is the orientation principle. How can we prove this? How can we prove this? Let set on right side of gamma 1. Assume that set B lies on right side of gamma 1. Then imaginary part of cross ratio Z1, Z2, Z3. Since this is right side, so this is always greater than 0 by definition. So we can see that so we have Z1, Z2, Z3 is equal to TZ, TZ1, TZ2, TZ3. Therefore, imaginary part of TZ cross ratio TZ1, TZ2, TZ3 is greater than 0, which implies what? TZ lies on right side of gamma 2. TZ lies on right side of gamma 2 with respect to the orientation. This TZ1, TZ2, TZ3. Similarly, if Z is on the right side, here it is right side. Similarly, if it is on the left side, then imaginary part of this one means this is, if this is left side, then imaginary part is less than 0, which is same. So here it is less than 0. That means TZ lies on left side of gamma with respect to the orientation TZ1, TZ2, TZ3. Okay, thank you.